I just got back seeing Terrifier 2 and 3 in the same night, so that was nice. I still wish they would have done the first one, too. But I feel like that one's forbidden because that's an independent film. These other two are more mainstream Hollywood. And I can go on a rant about that because there's things they did in those independent films that they don't do anymore in these ones, which is kind of sad. But I do like how the first Terrifier was unrated. The last one was R, and this one was unrated again. So, even though I felt like the last one was more over the top, but that was just me. So, it was better. For a clown, it was still better than Joker 2. But, honestly, as I told him, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people heard me when it was over, the people that ended up going like, holy shit, we got to stay for this. Because they're like, nothing at the end. There's a music video. Ice 9 Kills, I think they're called. Mm-hmm. And it was a music video. It's like, holy crap, you haven't seen that since The Man Behind the Mask from Alice Cooper and then Dokken with Freddy. So it's kind of like, art is in that status now. Michael Myers doesn't have one, I don't think. Technically, Scream does too. With What If from Creed. So, Myers, you're slipping. Yeah. But, I was like, damn, that was more enjoyable than the movie I just watched.
Well, he told the whole story in just a short period of time.
It was great. It was a music video, and he goes in there, and they're just playing. The song was really good. Just a nice rocking, headbanging, really good song, catchy. And the pregnant girl in there was the girl from the first one that's hanged upside down and gets killed. So she makes a guest appearance in this. And, because that's the one that paved the way to people getting angry letters to this movie. And I feel like that's why the last two movies haven't been as much like that first film, because the director himself said people call him a misogynist. Even though he's killed more men in these movies than women. But anyway, he's even killed children in these movies. But the main thing is that music video was awesome. He goes there, he actually plays, the man, he's got a guitar, he plays a little piano, stomping on her head, doing all this, everyone's fighting, everyone's getting killed. That was like, why wasn't the movie like this? I was disappointed in the kills. Yeah. I just thought, I'm watching the last one, again, it's been a while, and I'm like, wow, these are, these ones I'm just like, I've seen this already. I've seen these kills. He's just repeating kills now. I feel like the creativity's been lost on this one. And I was disappointed it wasn't it was Christmas, but I wanted more Christmas. I wanted watching Silent Night, Deadly Night with him. But there was a few things there. They set up a story for the second one. People bitch about the first one and there's no story. I don't give a shit. It's a good movie. It's supposed to be like an 80s slasher movie. There was enough story there. That was when art was the scariest. That thing scared the hell out of me when he first follows those girls. He gets into the diner and he just sits there. And they're all like creeped out. That's creepy. That's scary. That movie, he was scary. Then they made it into a horror comedy. I like horror comedies in the second one. It was more horror comedy. And then now we're sticking with the horror comedy stuff there. He's not as threatening anymore, especially if you can't really kill him type of stuff. But the point is, I feel like they're just focusing too much on these over-the-top kills. And I don't know, there was a lack of story in this one for me. They didn't really do much. It was more of, boom, he just goes around killing people. Then eventually, although I will say this was a final battle for a 3 movie, with Sienna versus Art was way better than the garbage from Halloween Ends, where they were promising a final battle in our third film with Laurie and Michael, which lasted 1 minute and was stupid. And, this was a good battle between them at the end on this one. I'm not saying it was bad. The story was really good. I like without spoilers, the one lady, Vicky, and her usage, all this stuff there. I like the cameos. First I was like, holy crap, there's Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother in there when there was Santa Claus, and Santa Claus was Daniel Roebuck. And I was like, yeah, these guys are in this. And then just a nice cameo of Tom Savini. It's just like a news thing talking about stuff. I mean, it was good. Art was great. Everyone was good in it. But I don't know. I was also distracted by the guy who's from Expedition Bigfoot being her like uncle or whatever. I'm like, what the frick is this? What the hell is he to this? It bothered me the whole movie. Because I'm like, that's a guy I see on that Bigfoot show. It was weird. But I don't know. It was good. I don't know. I just felt like it could have been more. I just felt like it was less than the second one. They had all the kills and stuff, but it felt less than the second one. The second one was longer. And to me, seeing it again after all this time, I didn't feel like it dragged. This one I felt was kind of dragging along, and it was shorter by like 30 minutes or so. So I'm like, I don't know. It was okay. But I like 1 and 2 way better than this one. I was hoping for more Silent Night, Deadly Night action with Art the Clown, more story with the characters that we've seen from the last one, evolve a little bit more. They kind of didn't. And then the kills were just the only really good kill, I thought. I felt like the opening was great. Then once you got to Santa Claus, then it kind of started slowing down a bit. Because I was like, hey, the opening's really good with the family. That's a good way to open it for Christmas. Then the stuff when he's in the attic doing the thing from Black Christmas, basically. And then her with the shard of glass masturbating. But then I'm like, like, you're getting for the shock value. I mean, if you really wanted to shock someone, you could have actually, go a little further there, buddy, next time. Show it digging in there. You'll do it to every other part of people's bodies, but, you won't dig in there. If you want to really just make people freak out, I don't see how people vomit and run out of theaters from this. What kind of fucking pussies? Go watch freaking Hellraiser. Go watch the Hellraiser movies. I mean, holy crap. There are some, go watch a bunch of these really low budget, they're just pure gross out movies from the 80s that were in the 70s that are just so gross. I mean, this is basically what that is. But you can tell everything's fake, prosthetics and everything, so it's fake. They do a damn good job of it. The freaking Halloween movies, when he stomps the guy's head in, is more gruesome than some of the stuff there. It's just, I don't know, you just see him chopping up limbs again, and I don't know. I like the kill for Santa was really good. That was, like, I think the only really good kill. I was like, I like that. That was really cool, because he mentioned the thing about his beard. I was like, it's coming. I don't know. It was good, but not as good as 1 and 2. Probably wasn't a good idea to watch 2 before this, because I was like, ooh, I'm all pumped. Oh. Wow, it was okay.
People that sometimes they have trouble making a sequel, or in this case, a third one, if you want to go in that kind of order.
I know there's a fourth coming, but I don't know. Hopefully it's better.
Well, as you said, they kind of sprinkled a little bit of storyline. A lot of kills, though. And maybe you're right. Maybe because of people complaining about the misogynism. In the second one, they cut off his thing. And this third one, they take a chainsaw.
And they butt F him. What is with these clown movies? What are they trying to say? You had this one for humor, though. Him with the chainsaw going right at the guy's butt. Which is, in the shower's like, what is this? What are they trying to say? Because then Joker 2, well, he gets butt gain-ard. What are they trying to tell us here?
I also noticed they put a lot of religious stuff in the backgrounds and throughout the sprinkled it.
Well, it makes sense. I liked all that stuff there because it makes sense. You're going against, like the first one, you knew it was like a heaven versus hell, good versus evil, angels versus demons type of thing. And this one, they actually say more that he's a demon. Angelic stuff there, so there you got this. So the demons are sitting there mocking, Christianity, all this stuff as demons do, but then they get defeated and all this crap there. I like that aspect of it, that they went that route. Like, okay, we know that demon. I mean, there's got to be a reason. It's like, without telling us too much about art, hopefully not spoiling too much. You're back again, aren't you? Jason? But I liked all that stuff there, so I hope they don't spoil. I hope they don't go too much and give us, too much of Freddy and his little, yes, I want the power garbage, or some bull crap they're going to do for Jason and this stupid Crystal Lake series garbage. I don't know, where they go too much midi-chlorian type stuff there, so hopefully they don't ruin it too much. I just like the idea that it's like Michael Myers. Like, they ruined Michael Myers many times. It's like, he's just evil. He's just the shape of evil. This, Art the Clown, we know, is a demon. So it makes sense. I mean, hopefully they don't ruin too much and try to go too much with, like, the Cult of Thorn type of stuff or something. But it's good. I like that. He was like, no wonder we chose you. They chose you to fight us. You're strong. And she's like, So it's good. I enjoyed it, but I'm just kind of like, again, I guess I should have watched the second one beforehand, or the first one beforehand, or All Hallows Eve beforehand. I don't know.
You know what? I feel like what they could do with the fourth one is some goes to completely different. Without spoiling the ending.
In space.
No, I was thinking something like Silent Hill, where they go into the evil world or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious what they're gonna do. I mean, from the ending, I feel like it's gonna be too obvious. Jason, we're gonna be art-7 with us right now because we're not sitting there saying it's a 10.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far for sure. The 10 part.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Anyone?
Because I really enjoyed the other two.
Yeah.
So
I still don't think it was bad.
I just wish there was, again, I wish there was more Christmassy to it.
I hear you.
I really liked that opening. I liked with the Santa bit. I liked when he wore the mask, which was, I feel like, a tribute to Christmas Evil or something like that. That one there, I feel like, with the mask he was wearing. It kind of made me think of that.
What I thought was interesting at the ending, I actually thought it was starting to be in her head when she saw Arthur climb in the house, and then that actually threw me off because I'm like, oh, this is actually happening just all of a sudden. So that caught me off guard. I would have liked to see a little bit more of her brother in this one since they had such a good bond in the last one. So I was a little disappointed with that.
But that's what I was saying. It's one of those things again where you get, it's like, oh my gosh, now we're adding new characters again.
So now we have to get rid of the old one.
So it's kind of like, okay, so you had this with that. You had only 2 left. Now let's throw in this girl Gabby. And I'm like, oh God, now we're going to get another thing to throw in. We're going to toss aside certain characters for her and Gabby now. Now the next one's going to be her and Gabby. That's all it's going to be focused on. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh. And then if they have the balls to do it, I doubt they will because they have, I don't see how people call them this because they don't kill very many women in these as they do men. I feel like they're more violent towards men in these movies, but I'm just saying. That first movie, he cuts the girl in half. Oh my gosh. And then the second one, I think was still the best kill was that poor girl that he just goes too far and then throws the salt on her wounds type of bull crap.
Yeah,
that poor girl, holy crap, that poor thing. I felt sorry for her. That's always a hard scene to watch.
That's like hell on earth.
That scene just that gets me like, ooh, it's hard to watch that scene.
The worst part was that she was still alive
because it's like the other ones, it's all like, oh look, it's prosthetics, it's a fake body when she's getting sawn in half. They're not really sawing a freaking girl in half. They're not really doing all this stuff there. But that one was very realistic looking and gruesome. Everything else just looks, it looks like your fake horror movie stuff. So that's why that one there, and then her crying and going through it, and then him just keep going, and it drags on for minutes on end. Holy crap. And I'm like, yeah, you ain't going to top that one. They definitely didn't in this one. I wasn't impressed with, again, I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the kills. I was like, really? You think with each one you outdo the next one? But the chainsaw thing, there's like, you just copied the first movie is all you did. Except this time it was a guy. So, I mean, you cut in half. That's all you did. That was not creative at all.
It's an homage. Not really.
So there was nothing... I don't know. And then I felt like it was a little too Saw-ish with the rats and everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was more Saw for me. And then, I don't know. And again, I don't know. The kills were very disappointing.
Well, yeah.
Art was good, though.
Well, of course. The actor of Art was always really good.
And then, of course, she was good and her brother and everything. So,
yeah.
But they were barely, they barely did anything. She barely did anything in this movie. I don't know.
Oh, I hear you on that one. It's a shame because she was such a strong character in the last one.
She does good in this, but it's just there just wasn't much there.
Right.
I feel like this was kind of a rushed. Maybe this was too rushed because, this is 2 years later, and they're like, well, let's do Christmas, and then we got they're still not fleshing out. They want to flesh a story out to a 4 and a 5 and a 6 probably, but I'm like. Flesh it out as much as you did in the second one. I know people complain that it was too long and it dragged and slowed down a bit, but at least, I don't know.
I liked that there was a really good story in the last, the second one.
I feel like the first two, I cared for the characters and was like, oh no, I don't want anything to happen to them type of stuff.
Yeah.
This one, I was just like, oh, okay, you're just going around killing random people. And then you get to the family at the end, the main characters. And then it's like,
You may not see it, but I feel like her brother somewhat became like the guy from Scream, who knows what's all going on, even though at the same time he stopped believing. You know what I'm saying? It has to be. This is how you defeat the demon and all that stuff.
I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be some weird stuff in the next one. Hopefully, it means it's better.
Hopefully,
but it was okay.
Go weird.
It was okay.
They tried to do something different with the nitrogen, but I don't know. That was basically the only thing they tried to do with extra creative.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone knows the stuff with rats and stuff.
Yeah.
So, a little disappointing, I guess, on that. So overall, what would you give it?
I don't know. That's the problem. That's always worse. Where you give high praise or low praise, but it's just one of those ones where you're in the middle are always the worst ones. Where it's just kind of
you don't have to put a number on.
I don't know what I think about it. I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just don't know how I feel about it.
Would you see it again?
I'd probably. I mean, I'll watch them all again. I just wish if they did 2 and 3, I hope they do. They should put All Hallows Eve, the first one, in theaters.
I still have never seen that.
So.
No.
And also do that for a double feature. I don't know.
I thought it was okay, and I think, I don't know, maybe you're right, maybe they rushed it, but I still don't think it did any disgrace to the franchise, necessarily. Obviously, they lean more into stuff like his props, like his horn,
and
then
funny.
The glasses.
Yep, that was always funny.
Because people got a lot of kicks out of that.
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know, I think if you like Terrifier, you still might like this.
Oh, yeah, you'll enjoy it. People will go crazy over it. People will complain about, they're tired of seeing the same stuff with Michael Myers and Freddy and Jason doing the same thing movie after movie, but they'll eat this up until eventually they'll grow tired of Art the Clown too. Yeah. Which I hope doesn't happen, because I like that he's becoming up in the status with the Unholy Trinity and with Chucky and Ghostface and crap like that. So I liked seeing him up there with these other guys, which is something you don't see. I feel like you haven't seen something this big since the Saw movies.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Yeah, especially with an independent original character. Moving on.
So it's very nice.
Well, if you like this video or like to see more,
ho ho ho! Merry Christmas in October.
Give us a present. No, give us a like, a comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
Keep it early.
Later.
So her brother wrote her letters saying, you're connected, we're connected, the demon and all that stuff, and the sword is what's going to save you, and yet she doesn't keep the sword with her for the 5 years. She just leaves it in a abandoned
place. that was like, I think it's still there. It's like, God damn it.
Why didn't you keep it if you knew it had power? It saved you before. Why wouldn't you keep it? Because he's been haunting you this whole time, and yet you don't keep the thing that protects you.
And as we were saying, like the whole thing with her and her brother, and now he's like, he's talking about, you got to let it go. It's like, oh, come on. This is so damn annoying. I'm sorry, but people are talking, like I was saying with you. They're sitting there saying he's improved on then the second one, where he improved on his writing and his pacing. Yes, it's not as slow paced as the last one. I didn't have a problem with that. I like that it dragged out for the last 40 minutes, was one long, epic battle thing going on. But every other movie nowadays, the battle's done in a minute.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, the villain shows up and gets defeated within a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, my one complaint for Beetlejuice, too, was that's the problem with every movie. The woman's out throughout the whole movie, she doesn't do anything, and then she shows up at the end and then gets defeated within a minute.
Yeah.
But that's every movie. The MCU was bad with this. It's like you have this big final battle with their bosses, but it lasts within a minute or two for the big fight scene at the end. It's like... So, but then we finally have a movie of Terrifier 2 where they drag it out, and the battle just goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah,
like a Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon Ball chapter or two. And then now we're like, no, you gotta pick up the pace again. But again, I still say that was better fight scene. That lasted pretty good. The good battle between her and him, more than Laurie and than the BS we got in Halloween Ends. Same with that. And they're talking about the character development. I'm like, where was the development? I didn't see any development. There was development and more lore, backstory for Art, the vessel stuff, Victoria, And then, as you said, it's like, we already, what backstory? With her and her dad, but...
You already said in the movie before that.
Right.
We already saw the... She already told us. We heard what...
2.5 hours, we know.
That the dad drew pictures of her.
And made the character for her, as her, and stuff like this for a reason. So then we go, well, we're going to have a scene to build up more on that. But it was like, not really, because we already knew about that. All it was just, Dad, all you draw is men. What about a girl? I draw girls, which I thought was funny. And he draws like these sexy girls, but that's what you do in comics.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. It's like, yeah, but she's not the hero. Well, I'll tell you what. It's like, but I get it. Maybe to show more that he does comics or something, I guess.
Why he was drawing.
But for the most part, it's like, we already knew. Like, this is for you. Wow! It's like, but we know that already. So I felt like that wasn't really as... It just left with more questions.
Right.
Then again, because he had the whole... Was that thing with the door shaking and him not holding on to it? Was that her having... Her thinking this and remembering and her just reacting because of art? Or did that happen in the past at one point and she's just, that really happened and he can see what's coming and he doesn't want to let it pass it on to her type of thing there?
Could be.
So it could be either of those, but at the same time, it's like, okay, that's it. We don't know too much about the aunt and uncle with Gabby. They're just thrust upon us.
Yeah.
We don't go through much. We get little bits here or there for the girl has a podcast. What they do? The guy's a roommate. But that's it. Where was the character development?
They were kind of...
The character development was taken away with the brother and sister. Like, you know what? Let's just separate them the whole movie. It's like, we're going to do this together. We fought art together, stick through. I've been in and out of therapy, and I'm doing this. I'm like, gosh darn it. I'm sorry. I feel like the writing was his weakest part in this one there, because I just feel like Damien, in his writing, was, of course, it makes sense. You go through all that, you're going to have trauma, you're going to go over this stuff there, but but that's always how it is. I can go on again like we were talking about Halloween Ends. They did this great thing with Laurie for the first and second, and then just tossed it out the window in the third one and reverted her back to how she was in the first film. Same thing with Allison. That's what they did with Sienna in this. It's just silly. And the brother to believe her, then not believe her anymore, tell her to let it go. Doesn't add up.
No, it does not.
I feel like the writing just kind of like, but it's always that case. Why couldn't they have gone through it and just be like, you know what? We're going to be ready for it again. We're going to be prepared. I have this. We're going to be there. We're seeing these things. We know about the demon girl, all this stuff there. I got to take pills again. I'm seeing things. And people don't believe me. And then again, people didn't believe her in the second one, and people are still not believing her in the third one?
Yeah.
That irritates me. How do you not... You saw what happened, and then stuff's happening again, and she's like, I'm seeing him. Oh, you're silly. It's like...
Yeah.
Really? I think that's just bad writing. That's just what it was.
Too.
That's what disappointed me.
Well, I also thought it was stupid the lore of him being a host or something, and then yet, first one he didn't have a host. And if it was a little girl, why did she stop being the host in the second one?
Because she walks off the head, but then I'm like...
third one, I mean.
And then it goes into her, like, I'm not understanding, like, pass it on to...
What would be the purpose?
If Victoria was always there the whole time, then why do we need the little girl? If Vicky was always there, why wasn't she the host in the second one? Why was the little girl the host, supposedly?
Yeah, it made no sense.
And then I get it with the first one, because, like you said, maybe the first one he wasn't yet a demon, he was just a creepy serial killer, then he dies, and then the demon thing latches on and cunts onto him. But then if it latches on into Art the Clown, then why would he need someone else as a host, if he himself is the vessel?
Right, yeah, it makes no sense. And did he kill the little girl before he became the demon? Cause
I get it. Everybody is like praises. There are people giving it a 10 out of 10. It's like, I'm not hating on it, but I feel like it suffers the Marvel syndrome where it's like every new iteration, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no. You should be able to criticize and see. I mean, you can. I love all these horror franchises, and I can criticize and know which ones suck and which ones aren't as good.
Well, yeah.
Not every Halloween film is amazing. Not every Freddy film is amazing. Not every Jason film is amazing. I enjoy all of them, except for Freddy's Dead, to an extent. And Halloween Ends. But, for the most part, I can tell where their faults are. And this one has its faults. It's not a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. I would give a 10 to the last two. if I had to give a 10 to something, I'd be like, the last two were great.
Yeah.
This one is starting to show signs of flaws because I think it's still in the phase of shock. And just got to do that shocking stuff and the controversies that I just don't see where they're controversial.
Right.
They're no different than any other horror type movies. And I feel like they're still in that phase, and it's like, let's step away from that. You can still do your over-top stuff, but let's dive. If you want, you gave us a story in 2. Dive more into that and be more creative and more better that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are still like, oh, the kills, they're so neat. It's like, what are you, 5?
Yeah.
I enjoy the kills. I love seeing them.
Yeah.
That's what the franchise is about. But at the same time, you got to bring more. You're going to be entering your technically fourth film. You got to bring something else instead of just, oh look, he's chopping off limbs. Oh look, he's smashing in heads. There's got to be something else besides that with art. I don't want art to just be that.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
Because like I said, people weren't going all, gross out in the theater. They were more reactionary, not to the gore and death scenes. They were more reactionary to art himself. He's like Freddy.
Yeah.
Chucky. With this kind of, he has a personality, and people are reacting to his goofiness. Just him put on the glasses, or him going, or something. People are enjoying that.
Yeah, I like that the most.
I like that stuff. Don't ruin that by just constantly, what else can we do with the over-the-top kills and nothing more? There's got to be more substance.
We don't need hollow kills to pad a movie. No more story.